In a world where time is lost and reality blurs, Katlyn Darrah is thrust into a battle that defies everything she once knew. Struggling with the haunting memories of her past and the unsettling truths about her family, she must navigate a dying world alongside unlikely allies, a demon and a dragon. Visions of ancient battles, monstrous shadows, and the weight of destiny plague her every step. As the line between friend and foe grows thinner, Katlyn must confront her deepest fears, her forgotten heritage, and a looming evil that threatens not just her realm, but all worlds. Can she escape the shadow of her past, or will the darkness consume her? We set out early. At least, I assumed it was early. This world had no night, no morning, and no clear way to measure time, which unnerved me. I yearned to know how long I'd been away from Mama Lucy, and if she and the kids were all right, unscathed. The urgency to return home gnawed at me, especially with Forrest's cryptic claim that I had a role to play in this bizarre conflict. Either that, or I was losing my mind. Was this real, or some elaborate fantasy conjured up in the corner of an asylum? Both seemed plausible. I held the sword firmly, unwilling to remove the bangle from my wrist just yet. Craig's torch, reignited by the potion he used before we left the cave, flickered dimly, and Forrest, as silent as ever, trailed behind us. We walked cautiously through this decaying world, the weight of uncertainty pressing down with each step. I had no idea how long we walked, my mind too tangled in the whirlwind of denial. My father's teachings, so distant and unnecessary until now, clawed their way back to the surface. Why would I ever need to know how to fight? Yet the memory of those men who had attacked our cottage, they weren't men, they were monsters. My eyes darted over my shoulder. Forrest, too engrossed in his watchful vigil, didn't notice my glance. Dragons. The thought chilled me. Dragons had killed my father, maybe even my mother. There it is, Craig murmured, and I stumbled, barely managing to stop before crashing into him. Forrest's hand shot out to steady me, concern flickering in his eyes. I flinched away, the movement not lost on him, nor on Craig, who raised an eyebrow but kept his thoughts to himself. It's worse than I imagined. Completely exposed, Craig noted, pointing towards the ruin. My blood froze. The sight sent a strangled gasp escaping my lips. Katlyn? Craig turned toward me, but I couldn't respond. Words lodged in my throat. The temple, or what was left of it, was part of a larger structure, perhaps a castle. The same castle I had seen in my vision. We shouldn't be here, I whispered, a shiver running down my spine. We have no choice. We need to get home, Craig insisted, stepping forward, but I shook my head, retreating. No, you don't understand. We can't be here. Do you even know what this place is? I blinked, and the ruin transformed. Bodies, bloodied, broken, and lifeless, scattered the ground. Screams echoed in my mind. I blinked again, and dragons soared through the sky, unleashing torrents of fire against an ever-growing shadow. But it was futile. The rain that fell wasn't rain. It was blood. I rubbed at my arms, desperate to cleanse myself of its imaginary warmth. How do you know what this place is? Forrest's voice cut through the fog of my memory, his tone demanding answers. The beast within me stirred, a low snarl vibrating through my chest. I've been here before, I growled, more fiercely than intended. Craig's smile faltered. No, you can't have. I was, or I saw it, I muttered, still rubbing at my arms as though to rid myself of the vision. There were dead, so many dead, and the shadow, it was here. You mean it is here, Craig corrected, but I could only shake my head, the scene too vivid in my mind. I don't know how, but I know this place. We can't go in there. We can't face it. How do you know this? Forrest demanded, his voice thick with suspicion. I touched a dagger, I said, my voice barely above a whisper, in the witch's shop. It gave me a vision. This place, there was a battle, a massacre. Dragons fought against a shadow, but it consumed them. It consumed everyone. You had a vision? Forrest sounded both skeptical and concerned. I didn't answer. The chill from my vision lingered, making my teeth chatter. I needed to convince them to turn back, to find another way. "We can't win here," I murmured. "We couldn't, even the dragons." "We?" Craig asked, his face paling. "What do you mean by we?" I swallowed hard, finally admitting the terrifying truth. I was in the body of one of the dragons. Craig's breath hitched. This just hit a whole new level of crazy. I ignored him, my focus returning to the ruins. It was here, the shadow. It destroyed everyone. I don't need to see the end to know that. Forrest reached out to me, his arm extending as if to offer comfort, but I pulled back. "Don't touch me," I hissed, my skin crawling. "What's wrong with you?" he snapped. "I am your kin, yet you show me fear but embrace that demon?" His voice was laced with frustration and hurt. "I have my reasons," I shot back, refusing to meet his eyes. "You defy your kin and protect a demon? Why?" His voice grew louder, filled with accusation. Smoke curled from his nostrils in warning. "It doesn't matter," I said coldly. "We'll get home and then you both can disappear from my life." Craig snorted. "It's not going to be that simple." "And why not?" My voice rose, challenging him, my hands clenched into fists. "That shard, it's connected to you. Whatever's coming, it won't just stop at the demon realm. It's coming for the humans too." I ran a hand through my hair, pulling at the tangles. "Fine, I'll help," I spat, "but not with him." Forrest's fists tightened at his sides, fury radiating from him. "Explain yourself," he demanded, stepping closer. "No," I seethed. "I don't owe you anything. I'm your prince. This is treason." "Drop it," I growled, taking a step back. "Back off." The tension between us snapped as Craig hissed out a warning. "We don't have time for this. It's coming closer." Forrest stepped back, but his gaze never left mine. "I swear," he whispered. "I'll help you find who killed your father. I'll avenge him." I wanted to believe him, but a cold voice in the back of my mind warned against trust. The beast within me stirred again, ready for battle. "When I say run," Craig said, "we run. No stopping, no matter what." The three of us prepared for a sprint, the ruin looming ahead like a grim sentinel of our impending fate. With danger at every turn and an ancient power awakening within her, Katlyn's journey is only beginning. The temple's forgotten ruins hold more than just the echoes of past destruction. They may be the key to her future. But as the shadow tightens its grip and dragons, demons, and kin collide, Katlyn faces a choice. Stand and fight, or let the darkness claim her soul. The final battle may be inevitable, but the cost of victory might be more than she can bear. Will she rise to the challenge or be consumed by the very fate she seeks to escape?